No one ever asked the people of Earth if they wanted to be the galaxy's prisoners. To the rest of the universe, Earth was a myth. A place where the Federation exiled the dangerous, those unpredictable creatures called humans. For centuries, the galaxy told ghost stories about the blue world, a living prison, sealed behind an unbreakable barrier. But for Jackson Ruiz, Earth was home. He'd heard the rumors from the sky alien voices hijacking old satellite signals, whispering about the curse in the barrier. He should have gone inside. Instead, he watched the lightning crack across the sky and saw something impossible. From it, a sleek silver ship appeared, silent and shimmering, defying everything he'd ever learned about physics. But mostly, he worried about surviving one more week working the repair docks outside Chicago. The night everything changed. Jackson was on the roof, fixing a busted relay, when a storm rolled in. A hole, flickering with violet light, opened in the clouds. But today you have a chance to earn your people's freedom. For a second, he was weightless, spinning through light and noise. Alien symbols pulsed on the walls. Beyond them, impossibly tall, sharp-featured aliens watched him, armored and silent. Then nothing. Jackson froze. The ship hovered. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind, clear and cold. You are human. Prepare for extraction. It shifted, rewrote itself, learned from intruders. No one had ever beaten it. Before he could run, a beam of energy yanked him upward. Doors lined the hall, each marked with a symbol he couldn't read. He woke in a cell that looked like glass but felt like nothing. One approached a regal figure, gold-skinned, with eyes like burning stars. He wasn't a genius or a warrior, just a mechanic who fixed what others broke. Instantly the door vanished, and the cubes began to spin. I am Warden Vetrax of the Galactic Federation, it said. Earth is a prison. You are its prisoner. He tried the next, and the next until the third one clicked open, revealing a room full of floating cubes. Jackson looked up, fear fighting with curiosity. And if I refuse? Vetrax smiled, all teeth. No one has ever escaped, but perhaps. No one has ever tried hard enough. On instinct, he reached for the ones showing kindness, humans, rescuing each other in floods, strangers sharing food, a father teaching his daughter to ride a bike. Every time he touched one, it glowed brighter. The challenge was set. For the first time in history, a human would face the galaxy's greatest test. Jackson took a deep breath, squared his shoulders, and smiled right back. Let's see what you're really afraid of, he whispered. The Federation's labyrinth was legendary, a puzzle designed by thousands of alien minds over centuries, evolving with every failure. Billions watched on screens across the galaxy, waiting for the spectacle. Round it, energy fields crackled, guarded by Federation soldiers in gleaming armor. Destroy the obelisk, and you win freedom for yourself and for Earth. Fail, and the barrier will remain forever. Jackson's cell dissolved around him, and suddenly he was standing in a vast stone corridor, lit by shifting lights that had no source. Jackson realized the labyrinth was alive, learning from him. For centuries, the Federation had used power and fear to rule, but maybe, he tried to touch it. Electric shocks blasted him back. The guards smirked, a symbol of their control, not an unbreakable reality. Alien languages, gravity shifts, rooms where time moved backward, or memories tried to erase who he was. But Jackson fought, not just with his mind, but with his stubborn heart. A metallic voice thundered, "Find the exit. Only one path leads to freedom. Choose wrong, and the labyrinth resets." Jackson closed his eyes. He touched the first door. It buzzed under his fingers, but nothing happened. Alien leaders shouted, guards scrambled, cameras zoomed in on Jackson as he stood in the swirling light. He stepped inside. You wanted to see if humans would fight each other, or if we could believe in something more. He told the story of his grandmother, who built a school in a war zone, his father, who'd helped strangers during a blackout, himself a nobody who'd tried anyway. To find out what had happened on the blue world, a hologram appeared, showing scenes from Earth wars, disasters, acts of cruelty. A voice sneered, "Your kind is violent. It's unworthy of trust. Prove otherwise." Jackson, now a symbol, led Earth's first delegation, teaching that freedom wasn't given by alien laws, but claimed by those who cared for others. Jackson stared at the cubes. Jackson traveled the stars, sharing the story not just of his escape, but of the humanity that made it possible. The voice hesitated, uncertain. Jackson spoke, voice steady. Yeah, we mess up. But we help each other too. We fight for hope, not just survival. A hidden door slid open. He stepped through on the labyrinth shifted, walls dissolving and reforming. Each new room threw harder puzzles, physical and mental. Hours, days, he lost track. He remembered the cell, the labyrinth, the impossible, obelisk-and smiled. Finally, bloodied and exhausted, he reached a circular chamber where Warden Vetrox waited. "You surprise me, human," Vetrox said. "No one has come this far." Jackson looked up, refusing to kneel. "You made this place impossible to escape. But you forgot one thing. We never stopped trying." Warden Vetrox's eyes narrowed. He pressed a button, and the walls vanished, revealing a crowd of alien dignitaries in a colossal arena. In the center, a towering obsidian obelisk rose from the floor, as a human who refuses to give up. "This is the true test," Vetrox announced. Jackson walked toward the obelisk, feeling every gaze on him. He circled it, thinking. The surface was flawless, absorbing light. No seams, no weaknesses. Suddenly, he remembered the cubes in the labyrinth, the ones that responded to hope. He glanced at the crowd. Maybe the obelisk was a lie. He stood before it, raised his voice so everyone could hear. "You want to see human strength? It's not in our fists or our weapons. It's in our belief that tomorrow can be better." He reached out, not with anger, but with hope. The obelisk shimmered. Cracks appeared teeny, glowing blue. The audience gasped. Jackson pressed on, sharing every story of kindness, every act of courage he'd seen. Each memory widened the cracks. Finally, with one last word, freedom, the obelisk shattered, light exploding in every direction. The barrier around Earth fell. Chaos erupted. Vetrox stormed down, disbelief on his face. How no weapon could destroy the obelisk. No mind could unravel its secret. Jackson shook his head. That was never your real test. As the barriers fall, echoed through the galaxy, messages flooded in aliens desperate to understand, to connect. Earth's skies lit up with ships, no longer to guard, but to greet. Some tried to exploit the new opening, but humans had learned. The Federation struggled to adapt. Some called for Earth's destruction, but others millions wanted to learn what made humans so impossible to control. Jackson spoke before the assembly, his voice steady. "We were your prisoners, but we found freedom in each other. Maybe now it's your turn to learn." Years passed, but the day the barrier fell became legend. New alliances formed. Some worlds rebelled against the Federation's old rules. Jackson's name was whispered in every prison, every shadowed corner, every mind that dreamed of a better life. But he always returned home to the little dock outside Chicago, where he'd started as just another forgotten human. One night, as rain fell on the city, Jackson looked up at the stars. Earth was still imperfect, still messy, still learning. But it was free. And out there, across the universe, billions remembered. Sometimes the only thing standing between a prison and paradise.